Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly unbox My City Roll and Build. This is a roll and write game that was recently released. There is a board game with this title that was released back in 2020, but that was a larger game. This is going to be more of a smaller roll and build kind of game. So let's just take a quick look at what's in the box. The game comes with a bunch of these pads. I'll go ahead and hold them this way. The game is played over a total of 12 episodes, and there's 3 chapters per episode. So Chapter 1, The New Land, encompasses episodes 1 through 3. Chapter 2, The Churches, encompasses 4 through 6. Chapter 3, Challenges, encompasses episodes 7 through 9. And Chapter 4, Bandits, episodes 10 through 12. And these episodes will get progressively harder and more complicated as you continue playing. So what's going to happen is players for episode 1 will each get one of these sheets. And what's going to happen is dice are going to be rolled. So these are the 3 dice that come with the game. And different rules will take place depending on what chapter it is. In the very first chapter, it's very basic, very simple. But what you're going to do is you're going to roll these dice and you're going to pair together the circles to create some kind of shape. So if dice are rolled and it ends up like this, you're going to put the 2 half circles here together like this, and that is the shape that you're going to draw on your pad. The first shape that you create has to be adjacent to a river space. So it would have to be somewhere in this area here next to these river spaces. You can cover up trees and you can cover up rocks, but there are bonuses and penalties. If you keep trees on your pad at the end of the round, you get bonuses for having trees. But for every rock that you do not cover up, you actually lose points. So you want to cover up rocks, but keep trees around wherever possible. But the first shape that you draw on here is going to be adjacent to a river, and then future shapes that you draw on here have to be adjacent to an existing shape already. And these spaces, regardless if there's a river running through them, is considered adjacent. So this space here is adjacent to this space, but you cannot draw over a river. But if you put a piece here and then put a piece over here, that is considered adjacent to each other. So you're going to be rolling dice and again combining these shapes. So you're going to ignore this little, it looks like a compass. That is for, I believe, churches in one of the future chapters. But you're going to roll dice and put together these shapes. Sometimes it'll be like a square like this. Sometimes it might be a little L shape like that. And you're going to fill those in. This die doesn't really do a whole lot for you in the first chapter, or the first episode, rather. But you're going to shade in houses based on what is shown. It's either going to be it's either going to be like a lines drawn through it, like a shaded, it's going to be completely covered in, or it's going to have one of these X's on it. And again, that will come into play in the future episodes. But for your first episode, you don't have to worry about that too much. All you're really graded on is how many trees and rocks did you cover up, how many empty spaces do you have. Whenever you decide not to construct a building based on what is rolled, you have to fill in these circles here, and you actually lose points as well at the end of the round. So you'll see some, other information along the bottom, and I'll go ahead and show you some of the other chapters so you can see how complicated it actually gets. This is still episode 1. Let's just flip. Okay, so here is episode 2, slightly more here. Number of buildings and largest group of each building type. So you want to have all these fully filled in ones next to each other, all the shaded ones next to each other, and so on. So it gets slightly more complicated. And then here's episode 3. There's some kind of well on the map, and you need 4 buildings adjacent to that well in order to get 4 points. So you want to put things next to this well if at all possible. And then later down the line, you'll get into things like the churches. Churches involve that compass on that one die, and whenever you roll that compass, you're going to fill in various things. Let's see. Okay. Construct churches in this order. So whenever you roll that, it looks like a compass, but it looks like the Starfleet insignia from Star Trek. Anyway, every time you roll that, you ignore the other dice, and you just fill in that pattern adjacent to an existing thing that you already got here. And whenever you decide not to fill in a church, you have to fill in 2 circles on this not constructing a building track. And again, it gets more complicated as it goes. There's more rules. Then Chapter 3 gets into challenges. So look how much more there is compared to the first one. First to build on all 8 forest spaces. First to build on all gold spaces. The player with the most money bags, or money, I guess, all players with the second most. So yeah, there's going to be more concepts being added to this game as it goes on. And these are replayable. There are multiple sheets included in the game for each episode. So, you know, you can even play this solo if you want with the intention of beating your high score. This is episode 12, the very last one. This involves bandits and some other things. Again, I've never played this yet, but this is like a quick look at what you have to deal with on your last episode. Again, this is really all that comes with the game. Just these 4 pads here. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. And you go from one episode to the next. The game includes these 3 dice. There is a rulebook here that is roughly 12 pages long. And here's a quick look at the solo achievements on the back. If you are playing a solo game, it kind of gives you a score to shoot for if you want to do something like that. Alright, so there you go, folks. That was a quick unboxing of My City Roll and Build. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.